Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about praying mantises, the insect that gets its name from its interesting front legs that are sitting in a praying kind of like stance. Now, the praying mantises are carnivorous insects. This means that they eat other creatures. They don't eat plants. So most of the time, our praying mantises aren't going to be very big, maybe this big at its largest, and they'll eat things like flies, cockroaches, bees, sometimes wasps, other crickets, other bugs. But sometimes when you get the very large praying mantises, there's giant praying mantises, and they get maybe this big, and they will sometimes eat birds, lizards, snakes, mice. Crazy. So they're carnivorous insects. Now, the reason why we're talking about this now is that we are moving towards spring, where we will start to see more praying mantises in the gardens. Generally speaking, the praying mantises will lay their egg sacs, which look like this.
So here is one of the specimen praying mantis egg sacs that we have. That one's a really big one. Just like that is a really big mantis there. And then the other one that I have, I actually have two others. This one's a little bit smaller. And this is the one I pulled off those tomato cages, and you can see it's got big holes in it. So I don't think I don't think there's any eggs still in there. And then the other one that we have is this guy. And this one's more of that like classic shape. And this one I actually just found on the ground. I didn't pull it off of anything. And this was maybe a year ago. So it was like last summer 2019 that I found this. No one has come out of it.
On maybe a leaf or a branch or a pole. And these egg sacs will be laid, generally speaking, in the end of autumn or early winter. And then they will do what is called overwintering, which means they will kind of sit. The little eggs inside the egg sac or the egg case will grow, and then the little praying mantises inside mature. Then come springtime, they hatch. So right now we should be looking for the egg sacs or the egg cases, and then come springtime we should be looking for the actual praying mantises. Now, if you have a keen eye and you're not immune to camouflage, you might have seen my little friend here just sitting in this plant. Well, this is what a praying mantis looks like. Let's go over its body really quick, shall we? So while this isn't a real praying mantis, I thought it would be a perfect little tool to show you up close before we get into our real praying mantis friend. So praying mantises, on the tops of their head, they have these massive eyeballs. Now their eyeballs are huge, especially compared to their, the size of their head and the size of their body. Humans, we've got what look like big eyes, but compared to the size of our head, the size of our bodies, our eyes aren't massive by any means. But praying mantises have these eyes. And now this one is, again, just a little, it's actually an ornament, but it's like a little, it's not real. So the eyes actually extend back more toward the back of the head as well as being in the front. And it's actually two eyes comprised of basically 10,000 eyes. So the praying mantis can see way better than we can. Now we have something called depth perception, and each person has a different ability to see depth, and that is kind of gauging, how far away are things from me. If I were to reach my hand out, would I hit my camera or would I miss? How it's that judging of your surroundings. Now, for a carnivorous insect, this is a wonderful thing that it has these 10,000 mini eyes inside their big eye because their depth perception is just top of the line, which means they can see tiny little movements super far away, whereas other insects can't even see them super far away. So they can, sneak up on their prey, or they could even hide from predators. All right, the next thing that praying mantises have, 2 little inner legs, 2 little back legs, and the front ones. We'll get to the front ones in just a second. And they also have wings. The praying mantises can fly. Maybe that's why we don't see them very often. They're crawling around, but sometimes they just take off. And then they've got their big body section. Now, from their legs all the way to their head, it's articulated. Their joints are articulated, meaning they can actually move. So some things like a cricket cannot turn its head very far. It can't turn it all the way around, and its body doesn't turn, right? So a praying mantis can turn its body, the top of its body, while not moving the bottom part of its body, or it can turn its head all the way around without hurting itself and without moving the rest of its body. Then in the very front, and this is where they really get their name, right? Because they're kind of in this like praying pose. They have these really cool, really, really long forearms. They extend out super long, and they have these serrated edges on the tops. Now they actually also have serrated edges on this part. Serrated means little jagged pieces like that, kind of like a bread knife. So imagine for a moment that you are a cricket and you are just doing crickety things, right? You're just maybe licking some dew off of a leaf in a nice spring morning when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy comes at you, and pretend my finger's the cricket, as you are pretending that you yourself are the cricket, grasps you and locks you in with these serrated edges. You cannot move. The cricket cannot move. It cannot leave. It's stuck in there. And now, the praying mantis sometimes does one of 2 things. Either it will eat the cricket alive. It doesn't care that it's not dead. It will just eat it alive. Purely will just chew on it while the little cricket's like, you are eating my leg. This hurts. Can you stop? And if the cricket moves enough and the praying mantis is not in a good mood, the praying mantis is like, back off, dude. Come on. It will bite its head off. Yes, you heard that right. The praying mantis, most of the time, will just decapitate its prey, meaning just cut the head off of its prey. So it's not a great thing to be a praying mantis prey because you're going to get eaten, you won't get out of its claws, and you're probably going to get your head bitten off. Generally speaking, when a praying mantis is looking for its food, it'll hang upside down. Now this is for a couple reasons, especially if it looks green like a leaf. It'll hang upside down so it looks like a leaf to camouflage itself. It also, if the little bug is coming this way, it's a better position to spring onto it, right? So it's kind of this twofold reason why it hangs upside down. Now let's quickly talk about camouflage for a moment. Camouflage is an adaptation that some animals have. Actually, a lot of animals have. We don't really have camouflage in our humanness. But some animals and lots of insects have camouflage, which basically means that their colors or their shapes or their size mimics the area around them, the nature around them. So this guy is green, which probably means he's going to be hiding in some green plants. And it's a way for animals or insects to kind of hide themselves so that either whoever wants to eat it can't see it, or whoever it wants to eat can't see it. Interesting. So by no means are praying mantises the only critters that do this. We see this in chameleons, right? They can actually change their colors to match, but we see this in snakes. We see this in, a deer will have a nice sandyish color because it's going to be the same height as all the tree trunks, so you can't see it as well, right? Lots of animals, most animals, have some form of camouflage, or they're colored to match their surroundings. So this guy, green, lives in the leaves. But not all praying mantises are green, which is really cool. We get in this area the green ones for sure, and then we also get these like sandy brownish, like a tan color, and they generally are going to be the ones that are living on the ground or on you'll probably most likely find them on like the trunks of trees or the stalks of plants because they're blending in with that kind of more brownish color. Now, here are some pictures of some other absolutely wild looking praying mantises, and you can see there really are just so many different kinds.